So give yourselves a woo. Woo! Oh, y'all are good. But you gotta get the hands going too. So, okay, will you do it again? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Woo!
All right, everybody. Good morning. A little woo out there. It is another rainy, cloudy day here in Kansas City. It's like, oh my goodness, bring me that sunshine back. So, any of y'all want to just, send the sunshine our way, we will take it. So, how is everybody this morning? I would love for you to give me a little shout out and say hello and where do you live? Would love to have you do that. Yes, I know this is the Tuesday after Mother's Day, but last week felt like the right topic to teach then. And then as I started looking around at things, I thought, well, just because it's 2 days after the official Mother's Day doesn't mean that we can't talk about it. So that's what we're going to talk about today, the variations of Mother's Day and what that looks like and what that means. But in the meantime, before we start that, I want to just invite you to remember that this Friday is going to be, and I'm going to grab my calendar here. Sometimes this Friday at 10 o'clock is our next in our series of Let's Chat, inspirational stories of faith. And the person who will be on here this week is going to be Gail Weeks. Great interview that I had with her. So you won't want to miss that. You're going to want to definitely check it out on Friday, 10 o'clock Central Time. So just figure your own, what I'm trying to say, your own time zone based on that. Hi, Kathy. Good morning. And who is excited? Our in-person lunch tomorrow. Looking forward to that. And then the one in Vegas is on Thursday. So I have to say that I've done the fourth week for so long that my brain or my body hasn't quite gotten down the third week. You know what I mean? You get used to doing certain things on the second week or the third week or the fourth week, whatever that looks like for you. So for years I've been in the fourth weeks, and now it's like trying to get my brain's like, oh yeah, this is the third week, and that's what it is. So I'm excited. We're going to a new venue, and we have a couple new people joining us that it'll be their first time. So I'm looking forward to meeting them. So I will tell you that if you want to go ahead and get a ticket today, we can do that. But this obviously is the last minute of today because our luncheon is tomorrow. So love that. And I look forward to seeing you, Kathy, who will be sharing her networking nugget with us. Always some great training tip that Kathy brings to us here in the Kansas City area, as well as when we do virtual. And then next week is the 4th. So the 4th Tuesday, which is our virtual networking day. You are welcome to join us. If you go to the Fun Fearless Female Global Community of Christian Women Facebook group, boy, that's a mouthful, isn't it? If you go there, it has all the information about everything that's coming up with the times and all of those things. So you can check out all those details on the Facebook page. Yes, Gail is fabulous, and it just was such a great conversation. I just know everybody will really enjoy that and be blessed by that conversation that she and I had. So let's talk about it. So Mother's Day was Sunday, and many of you probably were able to be with your families. A lot of times not. This was a really blessed year for me because I had both my kids here and had Henry here, which is one of my grandchildren. And then, so Henry and Kyla was here, who's Alicia's daughter. And it was great. It was great. But, when families are trying to how do you get to everybody's house or how do you get together? Sometimes it's a little hard to do that. So I get that. And my mother was with my brother for Mother's Day. Of course, I was here, so I couldn't be in Phoenix. So, distance does separate us. So my mother was pretty funny this week. I called her before Mother's Day and, said, I'm going to be the first one. I'm early saying Happy Mother's Day. And we were chatting, and I'm not sure exactly what brought the conversation. And she said, well, I've decided now. So my mother's turning 95. Y'all, if you've been listening at all, you know that. So my mother's turning 95 in August, and we're gathering the family together for a family, more like family reunion of the immediate family. And so anyway, in August, and she informed me, she's been telling us for years that she's going to live to be 100. And she is, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And that would be amazing and wonderful. She said, when I have my birthday at 100, I want a really, really big party. And I said, well, Mother, you turn 100 and we'll make that happen. So, but the other day she said to me, well, I've decided now that I'm going to live to be 110. And I said, wow, well, I hope the rest of us are still alive then. So it was pretty funny. So she just decided that she's going to be 110 now. So she's a very strong, independent woman. And I just admire her so much. And as we all look at mothers, and I'm blessed, I know that I'm really blessed that she is still with me, still with us, because I know many of you, that's not the case. And I'm sure that Mother's Day has mixed, bittersweet. You think of the good memories of your mom and then the sadness of the fact that she's not with you, but being happy about the time that you had. And I know too that there are a lot of women who are not, let's say, mothers by our bodies, okay, who've never actually conceived and had a child. But I think it's amazing when God made us as women, whether we are a mother to a child by physical birth, we have this instinct, this mothering instinct and nurturing that we love to share with others. Matter of fact, we can't not do it. It's just ingrained in how God created us. And I know that there are so many women that are spiritual moms who are those mentors and those encouragers and life givers who breathe life into other people as a spiritual mom. And that is so, so important. And I think we're all called to be that, to share that loving, nurturing spirit that God's given us with others, whether they're our physical child or not. And one of the things that I've really noticed through the years that I think is so special is there are many women that I've known, single women that haven't had children, that have nieces and nephews that they just love them. They love them with that love of a mother. That mothering, if there was another word to describe that, nurture isn't even a good enough word, in my opinion. There has to be another one. So if you have a word out there, but so many that are that share that loving, nurturing, encouragement spirit with their nieces and nephews, or with the neighbors' children, where they've just really made a difference. There was this wonderful lady. I think of her often when I was I knew her from the time I was probably in 7th grade. She and her husband, and her name was Ann Williams, in Bellevue, Nebraska. That's where I was and where I went to high school. And she was this little petite woman, and they were Jewish, but they were Jewish couple who believed in Jesus. So I know there's several ways of describing that, but just such strong Christians and strong believers. And both of them were so tiny. I don't think she was even 5 feet, but she was just this loving, sweet woman who was just there for all of us as teenagers. And then when I went through a really hard time in my life, actually, I don't have a problem telling you all this, but before Bill and I have been married 45 years. Before I was married to Bill, I was married to someone else for only 2 years. And it really rocked my faith, because I just had grown up believing that divorce was wrong and that I just was supposed to stay in that situation no matter what. That I just was so firm in that belief that when I did get divorced, it really shook me, just really shook my faith. I wasn't sure. And at that time I was leading youth choirs, and I was totally active in the church, and really thought that would be my full-time job, would be something that I would be working full-time in a church as a minister of something, minister of music, or, whatever that looked like. And during and after the divorce, I just didn't feel that I was good enough. I just did not feel that I was good enough. How could God use me in when I had done that? So when y'all, oftentimes I hear women talking about how they feel, how they feel ashamed, they feel that they're not good enough. I do know what that feels like, because during that time, I just wasn't sure. And so where I'm going with this is the fact that this woman, Ann Williams, she would send me cards and stuff through this time, always letting me know that she was praying for me and that God still loved me and was still going to use me. And her encouragement, truthfully, y'all, meant so much to me. So that by the time I came out of that dark period, realizing that, we don't have to be perfect for God to love us. We talk about that a lot, but sometimes it's hard to see when you're in the middle of all of that. So she was a spiritual mom to me. Yes, my mother was still there too. I'm not saying that she wasn't, but this was from a different level. This wonderful woman who just loved me and encouraged me and sent me cards. And, we've had several people in our group that do, send out cards, that do picks and go, that do multiple things of sending encouraging cards to people. I'm telling you for a fact that those little cards that she sent to me, knowing that she was praying for me, and she always told me, and she'd put a scripture there, never preached at me, none of that. She just loved me so that I could know that God still loved me. So it was an amazing thing that she did for me. So because she was already older than me, chances are she is no longer alive, but she could be. Maybe I'll try to see if I can find her on Facebook. But that was Bellevue, Nebraska, many years ago. So as we talk about that, and one of the verses, I thought this was the pastor talked on this on Sunday morning, and it's Isaiah 49. Let me see here. I'm going to actually have it on my iPad. So it's Isaiah 49, 15 and 16. And I probably read this before, but it never hit me, or I never understood it, or I just passed over it. You'll do that sometimes. You're reading. So I'm reading through I know I've read it because I've read through the Psalms probably 100 times and through the Old Testament numerous times. So this is Isaiah. And it says, can a woman forget her nursing child and have no compassion on the child of her body? Even these may forget. So even a mother may forget, but that's the Lord, I will not forget you. So Jesus has that love. So I know there are those who did not, were not raised with that loving kindness and nurturing of a mother. It just happens. We're human beings and those kind of things happen. But the love of Christ transcends all of that. So he is the Father, if y'all can follow me on this, because it also talks about Jesus gathering us to himself like a hen gathers in her chickens. Jesus' love is like that for us. So he is the total embodiment of all love. He is love, unconditional love. And so just as a mother and as a hen gathers her chicks, just as a mother loves and nurtures her child, Jesus is that for us. So if you by some chance didn't have, or know someone that didn't have that kind of love being raised, or that their mother was not with them, maybe the mother passed away, whatever that might be, just knowing that the love of Christ can fill that hole. The love of Christ transcends it all. He's the father and the mother. He is all things. And it's hard for us in our humanness to understand that. But I think we all just understand what love is. And when there is that perfect love, and in scripture, it says, perfect love casts out all fear. So when you are so loved, it helps you not fear the future, that perfect love that gives you hope. And that's what a mother's love does for us. And there's some great quotes that I came across that I thought I would share with y'all. and also, let me go back a little bit that I put in the notes for today that uh, there was a lady that started the whole Mother's Day thing. And part of that was the coming together after the Civil War, that women began to come together and start groups from both sides, that the women would come together to connect and to love and try to heal the nation. I thought that was really, really a cool thing. Let me go down here. And Anna Jarvis turns Mother's Day into a national holiday. The official Mother's Day holiday arose in the 1900s as a result of the efforts of Anna Jarvis, who was the daughter of Ann Reeves Jarvis. Following her mother's death, Anna conceived of Mother's Day as a way of honoring the sacrifices that mothers made for their children. She gained some financial background and was trying to make this happen. And the very first one that she did, there is a store, and I think, y'all, it's in Topeka. I don't know for sure, but a man named John Wanamaker, I've heard that. And like I said, I think there's Wanamaker streets and stuff in Topeka. But in May 1908, she organized the first official Mother's Day celebration at a Methodist church in West Virginia. And then it says that same day also saw thousands of people attend a Mother's Day event at one of the Wanamaker's retail stores in Philadelphia. So as they then in 1912, I'm kind of just skimming through this. Y'all can tell I'm reading something here. Jarvis established Mother's Day International, and she kept on going. And her persistence paid off in 1914 when President Woodrow Wilson signed officially establishing the second Sunday in May as Mother's Day. Now, the funny thing about her was that she got so upset because Mother's Day, not plural mothers, many mothers, she really intended for it to be Mother's Day, an individual like my mother, Mother's Day, to honor her. And, our grandmothers, in many cases, it's our grandmothers had such a significant influence in our life. But Anna Jarvis got so upset because it turned into such a commercial day, and that wasn't her intention. She wanted it to be a special day, to honor our mothers and family and all, but it's turned into such a commercial day. I think now it said in here somewhere that over $20 million thing, buy cards and flowers and all this. So it's a big commercial day. In the florist perspective, I think it is the second biggest. Valentine is the biggest day, and Mother's Day is the next, is the second in the order of, holidays that, are great for florists. And great, I have a great friend who owns a florist, and it's great for her. So anyway, so that was kind of the official getting started of Mother's Day, which I found really interesting. The other thing, so as we were talking about before, I'm going to also read you some great quotes. Some of these are really, really cool. Let's see here if I can find these. But just always remembering, I think, that a mother's love really is the love that Christ has for us. And when we love like that, when we love all children, when we love others, love your neighbor as yourself. As we love others, we are showing the love of Christ. And that's what we can do as females, as women, sharing that, being a spiritual mother or sister to others as well. Okay, now let me find my quotes for you, because these are pretty cool. Give me 1 second. All right. The influence of a mother in the lives of her children is beyond calculation. That was James Faust. Youth fades, love droops, the leaves of friendship fall. A mother's secret hope outlives them all. That was Oliver Wendell Holmes. I thought that was pretty cool. Only mothers can think of the future because they give birth to it in their children. And I don't know who a lot of these quotes, I don't know who the person is. So, but that doesn't matter. Sometimes the words are just great. Maya Angelou said, to describe my mother would be to write about a hurricane in its perfect power, that strength of it. I mean, as as mothers, is there anything we wouldn't do for our kids? Sometimes we have to be that very strong influence. Wouldn't you agree that that makes a big difference? Sometimes we need to be the strength for them, and then sometimes they're the strength for us as well. Um, the mothers are like glue. This is Susan Gale. Mothers are like glue. Even when you can't see them, they're still holding the family together. I thought that was great. A mother is your first friend, your best friend, your forever friend. And that just says unknown. So they don't know where that came from. So I think it's just important just to keep reminding ourselves and keep knowing that what a difference in the lives of not just our children and our grandchildren, but that role is so important. And we're showing the love of Christ. Beyond everything else, I think that's the most important thing, is that we can show the love of Christ by how we love our children. And again, whether it's your physical children or your spiritual children or your spiritual sisters, being able to do that and show that kind of love is so, so powerful. And we're called, we get that gift, we get that pleasure to do that. So that's what can lift your heart up. So anyway, well, I so appreciate y'all being here this morning. And even though our Mother's Day little talk here is a couple days late, it goes on forever. I mean, we could celebrate mothers every day. We celebrate the day as often as we want. But I appreciate y'all being here and joining me this morning. Again, tune in on Friday for the interview, Let's Chat interview with Gail Weeks. Those of y'all in Kansas City, I will see y'all tomorrow at the luncheon. Las Vegas, I know you're going to have a fabulous luncheon on Thursday. And then join me next Tuesday for our virtual networking. So let's just think of this. If we have whatever the numbers, 15 to 20 in one city at lunch and another 20 something, whatever, if we all got on the Zoom call, wouldn't that be great? I mean, imagine 30, 40 of us on the Zoom networking thing together. That would be powerful. That'd be awesome. So encourage you to join us there. All right, my friends, remember that life's not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. So choose to go out there, love others as mothers love her children. And as a hen gathers her chicks, let's choose to gather those around us and show Christ's love by how we love others. All right, take care. God bless you. And thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Bye now.